And we are live. I am not late. This is just my regular time outside of the NFL season. I go an hour earlier during the season so you can all get your bets in on time. What's going on, everybody? I guess it's back to Sundays with the General. I got Mark Baselli on here with me for the first time, fellow Patriots fan. So I know you all probably immediately don't like him. Um, what's going on, buddy?
Not too much. Like we were saying right before we went live, just a nice, relaxing, non-NFL Sunday, unless you count the Pro Bowl, which no one really does.
Yeah, I don't even watch the Pro Bowl anymore. I know Mac Jones is playing, but like, I really have no interest in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see the skills competition, them playing dodgeball and thread the needle like that. I watched for that for Mac, but the game itself is going to be just you'll watch it for like 3 seconds and be like, yeah, I remember now why I don't watch this. No one tackles, no one. There's no stakes. It's just it's flawed, fatally flawed.
Yeah, I, exactly. I've never, and I mean, it's all fan voting. Like some of the things, it's the fan voting that gets the guys into it, and it's the half the players that get elected to it end up not even wanting to play because they're like, what do I care about playing in the Pro Bowl for?
Yeah, and you have all these people. The Belichick can't draft people who get on their think tanks. They're like, when's the last time he drafted a Pro Bowler? When's the last time he drafted someone who got voted into a popularity contest? Oh yeah, that's great, great take, guys.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it's been an interesting week in the NFL. I wanted to talk about other things besides football for once. Peacemaker, I haven't gotten to talk about Jack Reacher's show. I haven't gotten to talk about Book of Boba Fett. But we couldn't do that because we found the one thing that Tom Brady is apparently not very good at: retiring. Um, so he kind of pulled a Brett Favre almost and retired twice because everyone leaked the retirement, and then he came out and said that he wasn't. I mean, first of all, cheers to Brady. Thank you for all the memories. 20 years of just sheer fucking dominance over the NFL. I got to enjoy just like the majority of my life was just spent watching Tom Brady compete for Super Bowls. It was an absolute honor. Um, Honestly, the NFL Network has been just which they do this week anyway, because this is just Patriot week because of all the Super Bowls anyway that we've won. But I'll watching all these games. I mean, it's all the memories with this guy. You start out like I guess in 2001. You start this guy's career in Super Bowls, and he's got John Madden and Pat Summerall together calling his last games, and now he's all the way 22 years later. Those guys haven't called a game in years. Brady's still here. All these guys are Peyton Manning's already retired. LaDainian Tomlinson's already been elected to the Hall of Fame. And Brady just retired now. 44 years old, led the league in fucking passing yards and passing touchdowns at the age of 44. Absolutely ridiculous. Insane longevity. You got anything else to add on that before we rip on how bad this process went?
It really is astounding because like you have Brady playing with like his teammates are sons of people he played against when he first got into the league. Like that's incredible. Like he's trash talking people saying like, "Hey, I want you to ask your dad about me. Like what kind of player I am." Like the
Yeah, ask your dad about me is like the biggest flex I think like I've ever had someone do in the NFL. Dude, why don't you ask your dad about how bad I kicked his ass?
Yeah, like it's just it's incredible. So, and like you mentioned with like they did have Super Bowl 36 in like this Patriot porn weekend that they've had on NFL Network, and you're just seeing like the discrepancies between the broadcasts. Like that was like standard definition
Yeah.
Like they have like it's like not even fully doesn't even fully fill the screen because they like it'll be too pixelated otherwise, so that like condense the version on the screen. And obviously Pat Summerall and now John Madden no longer with us even.
It was a completely different era of football.
Yeah, I mean
He
now.
transcended 2 eras of football in a way,
Oh yeah, and I
because
mean
that was I don't you can't. I mean, Madden stopped calling games in what, '08.
yeah, I think Super Bowl with the Cardinals and Steelers was the last game he ever called. So like February of 2009. Yeah.
And then so you mean you also think about like Kurt Warner's an analyst now to Brady beating his first Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
he's also Kurt Warner got into the Hall of Fame already. Kurt Warner.
Yeah, I mean, you have guys who Tom played with in those first runs who've been coaches. Like Brian Cox has been a coach for the longest time. Like he actually coached against Brady in a Super Bowl. Like he was on the Atlanta coaching staff. Like
Gerard Mayo was drafted by the Patriots. What I mean,
08?
what 08, 09, something like that. He's getting head coaching interviews now. Brady just retired from being a player. And Brady won a Super Bowl. Brady was winning the Super Bowls 8 years before this guy was in the league.
It's nuts. I mean, like we could go on all day, honestly, about how insane it is that he's still playing, and the fact that, again, the reason why he's retiring in general, or the fact that he is retiring in general, is so odd because he had that famous quote, "I'll retire when I suck," and that's probably why people were blindsided because that still hasn't happened.
Well, I think he just gave up on that. He was like, "Damn it, that's going to take too long."
Yeah.
And then he gave that vague, "I'll play until I'm 45," which he did technically, because he didn't say I'll play when I'm 45. He said I'll play until I'm 45. He's going to play. He's going to turn 45 in August. He left himself that out.
Yeah, exactly.
For this year, next year, that's that he left himself that out. Everything's always planned and precise with Brady. We all know this. This didn't go as planned.
Very sloppy.
Yeah, this just didn't go right. I think somebody leaked this on him. I think he told a close circle of people that he was retiring, and I think someone fucking let the metaphorical cat out of the metaphorical fucking bag on Saturday, because then we had people already released statements thanking him, and then all of a sudden he's got Don Yee coming out like, "Well, hold on. No. Tom hasn't made his decision."
Yeah, it was.
I think crazy. Tom Sr. gave a quote because Tom Sr. just got to give a quote on everything.
Yeah, you can never shut him up.
No. Which, I mean, I guess I'm going to be honest. As much as Tom Sr. annoys the hell out of me, if I was Tom Brady's father, I wouldn't shut the fuck up about it either.
Yeah, let's be perfectly honest. If we fathered the greatest quarterback, best player in football history, I'd be taking several victory laps.
Yeah, and I'd probably be a little worse than he is with it.
Yeah, God knows I've been aggressive in how I talk to people on Twitter when he was the Patriots quarterback, and there's no relation. So
yeah, exactly. I have no blood relation to him. So, but someone let this out, and then he releases the one statement that he's retiring, and everyone freaked out because he didn't mention the Patriots. I thought we could have been spared from a day of hot takes, but no.
Nope, not whatsoever.
No. Brady hates us all. It was was everyone expecting like the personalized text message?
Apparently they wanted like a handwritten note and like a edible arrangement from personally delivered from Tom.
See, I'm like personally, I'm mad because I was mad at first because I didn't get my personal text message from Tom saying that I appreciate you, and then I realized that I think he might have texted the wrong Steve.
Yes, yeah. There's he's many Steves in his
He
phone,
is an older guy.
just like there's many Brian's in Bill Belichick's phone. There's many
Yes,
Steves in
yes.
Tom's phone.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows a lot of Steves. It's
Yeah,
a very popular name.
I think what happened here is so for the longest time, Tom was very like closed off with the media. Like the only media in with his camp was what you mentioned. Tom Senior who was always mouthing off to Tom Curran. Like Tom Curran was the
Yeah,
Brady whisperer because he had the relationship with Tom Senior. But right before
Tom Curran.
yeah, right before Tom left, that's when suddenly you saw Jeff Darlington get a lot of reports out there about Tom
Yep.
Brady. And at the time, I was rolling my eyes. I'm like, Jeff Darlington, like this guy's a nobody. And it became very apparent that he became Tom Brady's guy. Like during that time period, he was leaking all these reports saying, "Hey, he's definitely looking forward to free agency." Patriots fans, like he already knew that he was leaving. And
Yep.
so when you saw this report come from Darlington and Schefter, really, I think it was from Darlington, and I think he jumped the gun because this was going to be his last real scoop about Tom Brady. How much are you going to scoop about a guy who's retired? And probably for him,
A
he was
guy
like,
who
I
spent
gotta
most of his career not talking to the media. You're not going to scoop much out of him after he's retired.
exactly. So I think that's what happened here. I think Darlington had a good 2 years as a Tom Brady insider, and he decided if this is how we're going out, I'm not getting scooped by Jason Lockenfora because that's how it happened. Lockenfora was like, "Oh, people think he might retire," and Darlington's like, "All right, well, I got to put the scoop out there then. Yes, he's definitely retiring."
Yeah. Well, don't forget, Adam Schefter did put out an article at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, the week before, on championship
Yes.
game, but on divisional round Sunday, 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Tom Brady may or may not retire this offseason.
Way
Tom
to put it
Brady will
out there,
think about his
Adam.
options. Like, dude, 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. I'm like, wow, thanks, dude. I never thought about that. Glad I'm getting a notification on my phone about that at 6 o'clock in the morning. I could rip on. I'm not gonna stop myself there. I used to turn on notifications for Schefter because he used to be useful. Well, now he's like I don't know what happened.
Well,
He might have.
now he's, is this okay, Mr. Editor? He's he's
Yeah.
very much
Now,
a
yeah.
PR
Now he's
man.
been programmed by Goodell, the Goodell bot, whoever made the Goodell bot. um, but yeah, and then so I think Brady had to throw together now. He had to release that he was retiring. He sat on for a few days. He's like, I just got to put this out there because he didn't. I don't think he wanted to do it this week before Championship Sunday. That doesn't seem like his thing.
Yeah.
Like after the conference, no one's even talking about the Super Bowl right now. No one's even talking about the games yet, which they wouldn't normally would actually be complaining that, oh my God, they're going to talk about the same thing for the next 2 weeks. So I guess this worked out all right. But he put out the one thank you video. No, thank you tweet. Everyone freaked out. And then he put out, you notice in his video that he released the other day, thank you all in all capitals. Like I think he saw everyone freaking out about it and was like, oh my God, I really have to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
I
fine.
think so.
I'll let them know that I also like the Patriots fans. I still like the Patriots. I have to tell everyone.
This was like the biggest, like latest example to me of how social media has just warped everyone's minds to the fact that they're just like, well, he didn't mention the Patriots or the Patriots fans in this retirement announcement, so he must hate us. Like, why don't you look no further back than like 4 months ago when he was here for that road game week 4, when he gushed about his time here and and had like a 30-minute meeting with Bill after the game and said,
Yeah,
I'm going to be back here when it's all said and done. Like, he loves it here.
he released so many statements, even not even other than that, about how much he loves it here.
Yeah,
Like one of my
nuts.
favorites was Belichick. He's like, there was an honor to coach the greatest player in NFL history, and then you got Dandy Dondero there who comes with, like, I can't wait to ask him if he thinks Brady was a better player than Lawrence Taylor. It's like, dude, he just said best player in NFL history. He said that like multiple times. He doesn't say best quarterback, best player. That's he just answered that question for you. Like, shut up. Why is that even a big deal?
Dondero going the DJ Bean route of just trying to be noticed online.
And they're trying to get noticed online for being a dumbass.
They fully subscribe to any attention being good attention.
Yeah. I don't follow that camp. I've never understood that logic. Yeah. So of course, like I said, this for them to not even have talked about the games yet. This couldn't be the only thing going on. But they're not spending as much time talking about this next bit as they probably should be. Yeah. So Belichick, like we alluded to, just apparently knows too many Brians. He texted the wrong Brian, and this kicked off the Brian Flores lawsuit against the Giants, the Dolphins, the Broncos. There is a lot to this.
There really is.
First of all, with the Giants, he's claiming they were violation of the Rooney Rule. The Belichick text seemed to prove this. I mean, it's been people have thought for years that teams just do this. They interview these minority candidates just to check off that they followed the Rooney Rule, and then they don't hire them. I mean, it's not the right system to solve that problem. It's a lot of these owners need to go, to be 100% honest.
Oh yeah.
It's like we could get into Snyder today too, but I don't know if we have enough time.
Oh, Dan Snyder is bulletproof. It's not even worth wasting our breath.
Yeah, Dan Snyder's got dirt on like everybody. Like I probably shouldn't even talk about him because he'll dig up something on me, and I really don't want Dan Snyder digging into my past because he's got some money.
He'll be at your front door, or his people will be at your front door.
My shit's not covered up too well. But so he has the Giants. They obviously Belichick was told that they were hiring Brian Daboll. Now I've got everyone mad that Belichick influenced the Giants in hiring. So you mean the Giants asked Bill Belichick what they thought of a guy that used to work with him? I mean, gave a recommendation. So I thought he was a good coach.
Apparently you have a bunch of people who have never been interviewed for a job and never realized that, hey, when they say list your references, sometimes employers call your references.
Yeah. Sometimes they call those people.
I mean, Daboll, I think people seem to forget that Daboll was on the Patriots coaching staff for the number of years that he was.
He's a part of the Sean McDermott coaching tree.
Yes. Coaching tree talk. I love it.
Unless he starts losing, unless he's a bad coach, and then they'll be like, wait a minute, that's the Belichick coaching tree.
Exactly, that's why that if Vrabel had not had any success, they'd be putting him in with the Belichick coaching tree.
Vrabel is not in the coaching tree, in the Belichick coaching tree. The guy coaching trees, love the coaching tree. But yeah, I mean, this is horrible. Obviously, I can understand. I can understand how Brian Flores felt. Obviously not completely, but in a way, I mean, finding out before you even go to this job interview that it's a sham that you're not going to get the job, it's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I don't even
And
know how I don't think I'd be able to be composed if I was going into an interview
me,
like he did, just knowing, hey, they've already decided on their guy. Why am I even here? Why am I putting a suit on? Why am I wasting
oh
my
yeah,
time?
like I would have like probably ended up spitting in someone's face. Like I wouldn't have held myself in at all. The fact that
And
he didn't go in there and get himself arrested impresses me.
the what also boggles my mind is the fact that Brian Flores, no minority candidate should be just a check off the Rooney Rule box candidate, but the fact that he, who was probably one of the best coaches in this hiring cycle, was being viewed as just this guy. Oh, we'll bring him in just to say that we interviewed him is baffling to me.
It makes no sense. I mean, first of all, the Dolphins hadn't had winning seasons in years. He had that team playing good, playing tough,
Yeah,
finding ways to win games. And then, I mean, besides that, everyone was watching last night over the weekend. 2018 AFC Championship game. A lot of points was scored at the end of that game, but Belichick. I mean, Flores was the defensive coordinator. That defense played fantastic against Kansas City, a record-setting offense. The first half of that game, and then again another high-scoring offense 2 weeks later in the Super Bowl against the Rams. Like
yeah, and I
a
mean,
lights out, had knew what they were going to do before they did it. Had everything.
and of
Like
course he's also the Malcolm Go guy. Like that.
yeah,
A few years prior.
and then I mean and then you get to this whole Dolphins part of it. I mean, this is the part that's really getting thrown under the rug here, that they're really doing a great job of trying to push away. Stephen Ross offering him $100,000 for every game that he lost. So this isn't tanking. This is fixing.
Yeah, yeah,
This
and
is fixing games.
all we heard for months in January of 2015 into 2016 was Roger Goodell going up there sounding like a broken record, talking about the integrity of the game over
Mhm.
air pressure, over weather, and now you have accusations that someone paid me to lose games. They were trading guys away like Minka Fitzpatrick. They were gutting their roster. Like it was apparent at the time that they were trying to lose after just hiring a new coach, which made no sense to me. And to dismiss that out of hand, they're just like, oh, there's no merit to this. And then 2 days later have to be like, actually, we're looking into this because we need to cover our tracks here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're looking into this so we can see what we can sweep under the rug here. Because if Flores can prove this offering of the money, if he's got proof, then not just the NFL should be taking a lot of action on this. The federal courts going to be taking a lot of action on this because this is fixing games. This is
Oh yeah.
not. This is not just like conduct unfit for the NFL. This is a crime.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially with the NFL having its antitrust, set up. The federal government would absolutely get involved in this.
The lawsuit was filed in federal court, so it's in federal courts already. They're going to be very, very, very interested in an owner fixing games. And then there's also the whole tampering with, I'm assuming Tom Brady in
I've seen
2019 that he was trying to get Flores to do.
Yeah, I've seen conflicting reports. I've seen Miami people say it was Brady. I've seen other people say that it was Watson. It's interesting nonetheless.
There was at the time there wasn't really any issue in Houston. There wasn't any drama there yet, so that's why I'm thinking it was Brady. But at the same time, I don't know if I see that because, like, if Brady was really thinking about leaving and in free agency, like, I really don't think he would have gone to a team like the Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
also
I
don't
mean, obviously he
see.
was thinking about leaving us because he did leave us, but like, I don't think I don't think if he was going to go with an AFC team, I don't think it would have been in the division. I don't think he really would have considered that.
Yeah, and by all
I don't
accounts, it seems
think.
like he wanted to go to San Francisco and New Orleans before any other team. So if he was considering Miami at all, it had to have been like the D tier of teams that he was considering.
Yeah, he was probably just like, whatever, I'll go chill on this guy's yacht in Miami for a little bit. That's cool. I'll get flown out to a yacht in Miami and eat some dinner. That's what I'd do with my time. I'm Tom Brady. But I mean, this is next level stuff fixing games. And then you have Hugh Jackson comes out from the Browns and says, "Oh yeah, I got offered to me back in 2016 too." Which, so I mean, basically, he just kind of admitted to like, "Oh yeah, I took that money."
And then he backtracked
like,
on that real
dude,
quick.
I just took that. Well, were we supposed to say something about that?
Then he realized just how much hot water he could be in, so he backtracked on that real quick. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I didn't actually get any money for that.
No, not Hugh Jackman, Sam. But
I mean,
if
I would love for Hugh Jackman to come back too.
Dude, listen, if Wolverine wants to start coaching football teams, I am fucking game for it. I bet Wolverine would be a great defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, no offensive player would survive.
He would be like the epitome. He would be an over like exaggeration of everything Dan Campbell preaches. But yeah, if Flores can prove that Stephen Ross offered this to him, the NFL owners need to come together and they need to vote to expel him. Which, before that happens, will probably end up being one of those, I'm going to step down, because they'll tell him ahead of time that they're voting to expel him. Then they'll save him the embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened with Jerry Richardson. Like that was a very quick, like, okay, you need to get out. You'll sell. You'll profit from it because you're going to make well above market value for your team. And Stephen Ross, I'm sure would get the same. But he seemed like the type of guy who he would try and he seemed like the type of NFL owner who thinks that he's in the Mara and other upper echelon, the Rooney echelon of NFL owners, when really he's not.
Sainted Rooney family. Yeah. See, there's no Sainted Ross family.
Nope.
We got the Sainted Rooneys. We don't have the Sainted Rosses. Yeah. So moving on from that, I do have to go to some terrible Twitter takes here. It is, of course, as always, triple T's. But don't forget, folks, this, as you can see at the bottom of this episode, is brought to you by creationsnacks.com. Use code BCMG for 20% off your order. Trust me, it is good fucking shit. Terrible Twitter takes. These never fail to amaze me. Mark, you've probably seen me make fun of a lot of these on Twitter.
Most likely.
So we do, of course, with Tom Brady's retirement. Why are people spending so much time raving about this convicted cheater retiring? Can someone tell me what these people think convicted means?
Yeah.
When did Tom Brady go to jail?
Apparently, he's in like NFL jail, according to these people.
You think he was convicted over the deflated footballs? Like, yeah, in 2016, Brady was just down on the block in Walpole State. Brady was in Gen Pop over the deflated footballs.
Yeah, I always get I had to stop responding to people who would like get into my mentions saying, "Oh, this guy's a cheater," because I'm like, at this point, they want to believe something.
Yeah. I failed science every year of high school. Believe it or not, I was not a very good student in high school. And I know all about the ideal gas law because it's a very simple thing to understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, living in Massachusetts, I learned about it when I would realize that my tires were somehow like lost 5 psi when it got to 18 degrees. I'm like, oh, I knew that this was a thing.
Did daily occurrence in the winter from
Yeah.
from November to February, almost daily occurrence.
Yeah.
just happens all the time. This is really the reason that I had to do terrible Twitter takes this week. Is just got to be one of my favorite worst tweets.
Tell me it's coming from a Bills fan.
Oh no! It's actually not. So this is worded as: obviously Jerry Rice had the better career, but I really think in terms of overall quality and football IQ, Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver of all time. I did check to make sure that they were not trolling.
That's the thing, is you have to sometimes do a little bit of
I
extra
was
digging
like,
into someone's
please tell
account.
me. I asked him straight. I'm like, please tell me. Like, you're not trolling. It's like, no, I really believe. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm muting you. I'm muting and unfollowing you right now. I do not need you on my timeline. This is Cooper, the best wide receiver of all time. Dude, I love Cooper Kupp. I love Cooper Kupp. This is a fucking nasty season.
Tremendous player.
My probably best wide receiver in the game this year. Best wide receiver of all time. And I mean, so let's talk. I mean, saying his football IQ is better than Jerry Rice's. What world am I living in?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then, of course, I saw on that note, I saw some of these Boston mediates.
What up, Shaq?
Sometimes they blend together. So I forget exactly who it is, but one of them, I may have been Gasper saying like, "Oh well, we really didn't factor in Cooper Kupp missing that Super Bowl 53. That was a big impact in the game," as if he was the same player back then.
Yeah, he has to always add something, like as if he was one of them has to add something at least, like as if he was the same player, as if they had the same quarterback back then.
Yeah, exactly.
For one, the quarterback always makes the wide receiver. No wide receiver is good without a quarterback being able to get the ball to him.
Unless that player is Randy Moss. That's
pretty yes. Unless that player is Randy Moss, in which case it's very hard to not get the ball to Randy Moss because he could you can make a terrible throw and Randy Moss would be like, oh wait, no, yeah, that's an easy catch. Try to throw it a little higher next time.
Yeah. Yeah, he fooled people for years into thinking that Dante Culpepper was good.
Dude, he did. Well, he reinvented Randall Cunningham's career for one season.
Yeah, seriously.
As a rookie.
Unbelievable.
But, I mean, to say Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver of all time to me was just baffling. Absolutely. I couldn't get over it.
People were capable of expressing a thought that didn't take place in a vacuum. Like, okay, you have watched football for the 2021 season. Have you watched any other seasons? Think about those seasons and let's put them all together.
And it's this new generation seems to have like an obsession with everything from their era. It needs to be the best of all time. And it's just like simply no. Like they all, you see it all. Josh Allen's going to be the best quarterback. Well, Patrick Mahomes is going to be the GOAT. You see it all the time. They all need to be.
They need this validation.
Yeah, they need their generation to be the best.
Yeah, the Josh Allen takes in particular have been putting me over the edge.
If I really wanted to, I probably could have just made an entire episode of terrible Twitter takes of just Josh Allen takes from Bills fans.
Yeah, just Bills Mafia. The amount of tweets I've seen on my timeline this week of Josh Allen golfing, I'm like, you guys realize this is actually kind of a self-own, right?
Yeah, well, it's that Bills fans owning themselves really does does that work for me. That Bills fans own themselves account. He does all of that for me.
Yeah.
I don't even. I can't even follow up on. I can't the things that you see on there, the things that they say. I can't even follow up on and rip on it because, like, that account says they own themselves.
Yeah, they really do.
There's nothing I can even say. My last terrible Twitter take. This popped up this morning. Someone saying that Pearl Jam is not an iconic band.
That's up
Oh,
there. I think I saw
take.
this.
It's quite a take.
I saw this in response to something about Motley
more
Crue.
Iconic, which
Yeah,
like I love Motley Crue. They're insane.
it's also different eras,
Completely different eras. I mean, to say Pearl Jam isn't iconic, Pearl Jam pretty much defined an era of music.
Yeah, like early '90s. Obviously I was too young at the time, but listening when I got older, I'm like, yeah, that was like defining of that very early part of my life.
Yeah, it was the early '90s. Pearl Jam was the early '90s. They pretty much defined that. I just can't. Pearl Jam isn't iconic. It's just what.
Yeah, why don't you go to a Pearl Jam concert, and which I was lucky enough to do, and then you'll see just how good they are.
You mean to tell me if Even Flow came on right now, you wouldn't be fucking jamming to it? Shut up. Everyone knows Even Flow by Pearl Jam. Don't tell me they're not iconic.
Music takes can be a like that. That could be a separate show as well. Just like some of the god awful music takes that you'll see on Twitter on a daily basis.
Oh, shit. Shaq is good. Don't forget the take. Yes. Thank you, Shaq.
Correct.
Yes, this one I saw. Yes, it seems that the Pats run the NFL and do whatever they want over Spygate to Flakegate and now telling the Giants to hire Dable. What?
Yeah, the Patriots are definitely league darlings. They always get their way. Absolutely.
I just don't even understand it. Like, I mean, what's you say? Like, what are we saying? That he's telling them to hire coaches to sabotage? Like what is going on here? Is that what the Belichick coaching tree is all about? Is that why the Belichick coaching tree always fails?
That's why he's a super.
He sends his spies out to gather information and destroy teams from within. Yes, that's it. Wow. We figured it out.
Crack the case.
Yep. We're about to lose a lot of draft picks off of this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you remember these Giants fans were over the moon when Belichick gave such a glowing endorsement of Joe Judge just 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my God! This is what Belichick says about him now. He's telling us who to hire.
Yeah.
Maybe don't be. Well, first of all, if you want your team to stop calling, first of all, I wouldn't want my team to stop asking the greatest coach of all time for recommendations. If you have a relationship with that guy that you think is going to shoot you straight, which the Giants do have that relationship with Belichick, I wouldn't want my team to stop asking him things.
Yeah, seriously.
But if you're mad if you really are mad at your team for asking Bill Belichick for recommendations of like, what did Belichick do wrong in this situation? Just be mad at your team then. If you want them to stop hiring Belichick guys, be mad at your team for continuing to hire Belichick guys. Don't be mad at Belichick. Because at the same time, I mean, we're saying that like, oh, he gave Flores a good reference. Well, if they asked, he gave Dable a good reference. What if they asked him about Flores? Are we saying that Belichick would have given Flores a bad reference? I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that way, given that he was that he was apologetic and he was still texting with Flores, even though he was texting the wrong one.
Yeah, but at that point, he did know which Brian he was talking to.
Yeah, we all know too many Brians.
Yeah, listen, I have done many times. I have texted the wrong person and opened up a can of worms. Usually not this big a can of worms, but I mean, we've all done it.
Oh yeah. If anything, this makes Bill very relatable.
Yeah, like if it's, I always get close now, as I feel like I'm about to send the text to the wrong person, and I'm about to hit send, and I'm like, whoa, shit, don't do that, don't send that text there. But yeah, that's all I got today. Thanks for tuning in, folks. This is again, I had with me Mark Pacelli today from For the Fans Media, right?
Yeah, just check out my account on Twitter. We have a couple podcasts. My personal podcast is Snipe and Selly podcast, just a fun hockey discussion every week. So if anyone's interested in some great hockey talk, check me out on Twitter.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have actually seen you guys around tweeting about games. Yeah, check Mark out. He's a great guy. Obviously, it's not all about sports either. I was going to ask you to come on about Peacemaker, and then we had all the NFL news.
I would be happy to come back on and talk about Peacemaker. I am blown away by that show.
I absolutely love it. They're doing a fantastic job. It's going to have to be after the Super Bowl.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for coming on. I will be back next week, hopefully at 12 o'clock again. I'm not going to guarantee anything right now. All right.